In a new novel inspired by true and terrible events, best-selling author Mitch Albom is shedding additional light on one of humanity's darkest chapters. The book is called The Little Liar, and it tells the story of three Jewish children whose lives are forever connected and also changed by the Holocaust. It's set during World War II in the Greek city of Salonika, which had the highest percentage Jewish population of all the cities the Nazis destroyed. And Mitch Albom joins us now. Mitch, that little fact at the end, I had no idea, right? So this is a majority Jewish city in World War II. It wasn't by the end of World War II. When you learned about it, what made you want to go from hearing about it to writing about it?
Well, because I wanted to show that it wasn't because the Nazis had bigger guns, they had bigger lies. And I wanted to tell a story about lies and truth. And it follows an 11-year-old boy who's never told a lie in his life. When the Nazis come to Salonika, they find this out, and they kidnap him, and they decide to use him as a weapon. They say, stand on the railroad tracks and tell everybody that they're going to good places and good homes, and then you can go back to your family. Wow. And being a trusting child, he does what they tell him until the last train goes out and he sees his family being put on it. And he realizes he's told this lie, and it follows him for the next 40 years. The ramifications of that lie is he tries to seek forgiveness from his family and the people he loved.
It follows him, but the narrator is not him, right? The narrator is truth. Sort of this disembodied voice. There is a body attached. It's kind of the surprise in the book. I don't want to give it away. How did you come up with that device?
Because we live in a time, I think, where we're choosing our truths, you know? And we choose what news we're going to watch. We choose what we're going to listen to and not. And I thought this is a really important topic for our time, as well as a good topic for a novel. So if I have the voice of truth saying, what are you doing? Why are you breaking me like that? You know, it would be more effective than just doing it as a third person.
Mitch, you know, to that point, you say this book is a warning about what could happen when people don't value truth, when truth isn't imperative. But, you know, at a time, I mean, throughout all of time, but especially right now, where people have different versions of the truth.
Yeah.
How do they stay true to the truth when there's disagreement?
Well, you know, you have to search. You got to take a lot of sources, I think, and take everything with a grain of salt and do your homework, you know. But it's also about lies. And I like to ask people in my books of questions, and in this one, I think it would be, what's the biggest lie you ever told, and what would you do to be forgiven from that lie? Because Nico, the little boy, spends his whole life trying to seek forgiveness, and the girl who loved him when she was a little girl spends her whole life trying to find him because he becomes this reclusive person who changes his name and everything because she wants to forgive him. So it's the power of forgiveness as well.
Yeah, this isn't a history book, but the events definitely mirror what has happened in the past. And we are in a current state where we see a rise in anti-Semitism in this country and around the world. Yeah. Do you see, after doing your research before writing this, some parallels between what has happened in the past and what is happening now?
Yeah, well, Nate, I always feel the Holocaust should never be compared to something because it was so singular, but it should be a warning for things. I grew up in a neighborhood where an older Jewish couple that lived right next to us wore long sleeves all the time. And I asked my mother, why did they wear long sleeves? Well, they have these numbers on their wrists they don't want people to see. Well, many of those people are gone now. Most of them are gone now, and they're not here to tell the story. And if we don't remind people what happened, it's possible to repeat it.
On the subject of reminding, you remain hopeful. At least I read that anyway in these notes. Are you hopeful?
I'm always hopeful. I've been teased, I've been called the king of hope by a critic who wanted to make fun of me. But this book is hopeful too. There's even a scene when it doesn't take place in the concentration camps, all the book. It follows 40 years, but there is a scene in the concentration camps where the prisoners at the end of the day sit together and try to think of one good thing that happened during the course of the day. They had an extra thing of soup. Their rotted tooth fell out. They saw a bird. And that's man's desire for hope. And hope runs throughout this book. And hope is ultimately the thing that saves Nico.
Okay, and last thing before we got to go. Do you have hope for the Lions?
Hope? I heard on your network Tony Romo say that they could win the Super Bowl. Our heads just exploded.
They're doing incredibly well. Yeah.
Go Lions. Mitch, we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Great to have you here. The book is called The Little Liar. It comes out tomorrow. We'll be right back.